Welcome to the Savvy Radio Show with your host, the Savvy Landlord. Up next is the best deal ever. On Fridays, check out all episodes on SavvyRadioShow.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, it is Friday, and I mean fabulous. This has been a deal that I have been trying to... Mystery Man all of a sudden has been getting a little busy on me. I mean, like, grinding it out, not showing up, but out there putting out deals, doing postcards. I don't know what this dude does all day, but whatever he does, it's successful, bringing deals, getting it done. And so, Mystery Man, we got a deal, right? You just locked up this deal, or not? You actually finally closed.
That's correct.
So how long did it take to close this deal, like from the initial contact? So basically you did a direct mail piece.
Correct.
To a specific list, and then you started getting calls. Can you remember when you got this call?
I originally sent out the postcards in September. It was about a week later. I was blowing up my phone on this. And originally got it signed about a week later, and that was, as I said, in September.
Okay. So now we're in February, and I think you closed this in mid-January.
That is correct.
Okay. So tell us about the deal. What's the ARV? What's the size of it? Let's get that out of the way. And then I know there's unbelievable moving parts. Again, this is, folks, if you know me, I have zero patience. Mystery Man brought this to me, helped him analyze this deal. I was like, no, it's a bomb. Throw it away. It's an explosion. I mean, I don't even think you can live in it. There's a crack down the middle of the living room that is so big that there was no way this thing would appraise. So, but let's tell us what's the size of the property.
And that's one thing that did actually come out in an appraisal. Did get an appraisal done on it. And it had listed, let's say 1,000 square feet, for example. In the appraisal, they went out. There was one that was listed, and he didn't necessarily think that was the right footage on it. So he went out and did some listing on it. It was about 400, 500 feet off on the footage.
So on the county is what you're saying, that it was 1,000 square foot. But when the appraiser went into the property, which we were scared and holding our breath,
yes,
because he measured an additional 400 square foot.
Roughly, yeah. There were several hundred additional square feet.
I guess that would be like juicing up the appraisal or deflating the ball if you were a quarterback, if you were a Patriot.
But so they're back.
Juice it, I know. I got to give it up to them. All right, 1,400 square foot. Is that what you're telling us? 3-bedroom, 1 bath.
Correct.
Basically a shell. I mean, the thing was a POS.
Right. It lists as a 2-bedroom, but it has 2 large living rooms. And the bedrooms, one on either end, and then a living room on either side of that, working its way towards the middle of the house, with a kitchen and a dining room on the middle of the house.
And a crater in the middle of the living room.
That is correct. From side to side, the tiles busted up all the way across the floor, like you said, with that.
Yeah. And with how many inches do you think that crack is? Did you measure it? I mean, can you guess?
It's as wide as pushing 1.5 inches in some places.
So it was like if you poured a soda over there, it would go into the crack
easily.
You wouldn't see it.
Coins in there.
Drop coins. Okay. So when you showed me these photos and sent me this property, I was like, no way. First of all, what'd you get it under contract for? I know you didn't close it at that price, but you got it under contract at what price? $21,000, and you ordered an appraisal. Now, what was your first goal on this property? Like, because we were struggling back and forth, and you holding it as a rental, and I was like, hell no. And then you were like going to do a lease option. So what was that your intention in the beginning when you purchased it, when you saw it, when you looked at it? What was your first impression?
Originally, I was going to wholesale it, and kind of started to list it, wholesale it, put it out at the RIA one night, and got to throw it out to a homie, to Tanner, And he said, well, why don't you kind of keep this and do it as a lease option? And kind of started mulling that around. Hadn't done it yet, did a little research, and that's kind of what I ended up doing with this.
I love having friends in your life where they change your perspective in just minutes. Like, that's happened to me so many times. So you called another wholesaler. He said, hold it, do an not owner finance, but a lease purchase.
That's correct.
So we got it under contract for 21. How much was the appraisal?
53.
53,000. Okay. And what would you say the market is, or the neighborhood? Give us some kind of perspective on the location of the property.
It is south of 240 and east of I-44.
South side?
That's correct.
Was that predominantly Hispanic neighborhood?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you get this deal, everything's fine, except for you find out about the title work.
Yes.
Well, first of all, we were trying to gather the cash to close it.
Yes.
That was your first hurdle, is that you got it under contract. You were going to try to flip the thing, but you couldn't get any buyers, any smart investors like myself. I said, no, and hell no, and no one more time. See you later, mystery man. Peace out, because I'm not into the hood like that. I'm in the hood. Never mind. So you have to close it.
Yes.
And so so you sent the information to the title company, and bombs were going off from day one, back in September.
Yes, I get a call from the title company. What do you plan on doing with this property? Are you sure you want to move forward with this?
Is that what the title lady said?
Yeah. I said, yeah, I plan. So that's why I sent it to you. Why do you ask?
That's your job.
And so she sends me over this list of things that need to be done. And there's about 9 or 10 line items, literally things that need to be done.
But basically the title was clouded. And for you to get clear title, you had to do these 9 things.
Right.
Like a whole groceries list of BS. What was those things?
Oh, gosh. I don't remember. And it was
like
luckily
the main ones.
Those are things that are good about having a title company. They do all these things for you. There was a
IRS
federal lien on it.
Federal lien. Okay. Oh, that's a big one. That's a little one. Let's start with that one. What else was there on there?
There was a workers lien on it.
AKA mechanics lien.
Yes, there was.
Keep going.
She had this property under her son. Her son was a co-signer on it. So her son was now going to be held responsible for it and have bad debt on his name. And so he was being now pursued for
debt problems,
debt collection
on this property, or
yes.
just so there was a bunch of things attached due to debt. Now, I think if I remember, of course, correct me because I'm throwing stuff out here. Wasn't someone holding the mortgage locally, not like a big institution?
Yes.
So this other seller of sorts, sold this house to this lady that you've interacted with, that you have a contract with for 21, and they had a contract together that she bought it from another investor.
Yes, she was lease purchasing it from somebody else. And she had been making payments for some time, regularly. And she lost a job, and got behind. And this shady lease purchaser that she was getting it from had one line item in there that if you didn't make one payment or something, if you were late on one payment, then she gets the property back.
Default.
Yeah, something along those lines. There was no recourse. There was no...
And so this lady was kind of distraught and frustrated that she missed the payment because she lost her job.
Because the lady had taken public action on her and filed a lawsuit against her.
Wow. Well, we'll find that person's name. Find out who that person is. Just curiosity, it kills me.
So I had all that legalities to go through and clear.
I mean, months. That was September, October. I'd check in with you on this deal, and you'd ask me questions just random. We're still on the iceberg here. We're still mud through here. So at least how many times would you say that this deal was going to bust?
Probably 6-7 times at least.
And how many times? I mean, I just have a personal question for you, Mr. Man. How do you stay in it? Like, because I know I would have. I mean, I just saw the pictures. I saw the deal. I didn't care what it appraised for. My main concern, you as a friend of mine, how in the world are you going to you're going to borrow $20-something thousand from somebody and be committed to that money? Because I know wherever you get this money from, they're going to lock you down, because that's just how they do it.
For sure.
What kept you in the game? What was your motivation?
Yeah, I had heard and seen that there is a potential that the city could be pursuing additional rights to expand and come through there. Whenever they do that, they buy
eminent domain, take it over and offer you value, which would be 53. So there was a pipeline there, or your mind was focused on the 53,000 ARV. You think that you're getting 21,000. You're getting a deal in your mind. I still would give up about 100 times. So back to this lease purchase, this lady that you're buying it from, she was under contract in foreclosure, per se, or in Lynn's pendants on this property. What were they filing? What was the amount of money were they filing on her on?
$27,000.
So that's when I was like, dude, get the F out. So you have it under contract for 21. There's this discrepancy here, buddy, of 6 G's.
Right.
Are you going to pay this 6 G's? And you were just very calm and confident and say, no. I'm like, there's a lien on the property for 27 and you have it under contract for 20. It doesn't matter what you have it under contract for. It has a lien of 27. So how'd you wipe away, or how'd you orchestrate that situation? And I would give kudos to your title company.
Yeah, it is 100% kudos to the title company, and going back to that list of the 7, 8, 9, 10 items that she said she was going to have to work through, and it was several months of working through that. And one of the items on there was, and some of these issues with the $6,000 was, it was the same name of this owner of the property had this outstanding debts. And because
you mean the seller had more debts on them as well? The one that was holding the actual mortgage?
Say it was John Smith.
Okay, John Smith.
And John Smith in New Jersey, for example, had done something wrong, but John Smith living in this house, same name, somebody just attached
so there was an identity issue.
Right.
I remember that as well. So when you were about to close this thing, all of a sudden another red flag pops up. We have an identity theft or an identity issue going on that was putting a lien on the property from some other part of the state, country, or somewhere else.
Right.
Do you know how they levied that?
Yeah, there was a lack in communication as far as being able to contact this homeowner for some period of time.
The one that you got it under contract.
Correct.
She basically disappeared after you signed the contract with her and got it all legalized and got it to the title company. She disappeared.
Right. And we're telling her up front, you need to be saving about $800 a month between now and then, because there's going to be money due at closing. That was one thing the title company said. If you want to move forward, they're going to have to bring money to the table.
Because you got it under contract for 21.
Right. She said, yep, sure, want to do that. Okay. So then we go to call her. Number's disconnected. She's not at the same workplace anymore. Her son has no contact number. He's dodging places because they're trying to contact him because of all these other collection issues.
Because his name was on there too.
Right. So we can't contact her for several months now. And to be able to clear up the identity issue, she has to sign a form, 103K or something.
From the IRS?
Right. Giving them permission to run Social Security verifications. So just one day, I'm up there closing on another property, and while we're in here, let me try Facebook, and sitting there talking, Facebook, and she responds, yes.
So the only way you get a hold of the seller is through Facebook.
Yes. Thank goodness for her.
Oh, we're about halfway through this deal. So you finally, now during this whole time, were you marketing the property? Let's add that in here.
Yes.
And you actually sold the property.
Yes.
That was the title of the deal. Hey, this guy, Mystery Man, gets it under contract for 21. We're 53. By the way, gets it under contract for how much? You're selling it to another end buyer for how much?
55.
55. The appraisal comes in 53. And this individual is a tenant buyer as well.
Correct.
How complicated? So one investor selling it to lady number one. Lady number one co-signs with her brother. Lady one, brother two. They go in default. Gangster investor number one files on them. Lady number one signs a contract for you for $6,000 less than she's being sued for, and then you turn around and sell it to gentleman number two, or buyer number two, for $55,000.
Right.
How'd you find that person?
Just calling me from a sign that I had stuck on the side of the road, and it was about a
bandit sign.
No, it was a 10 by 10 little piece of paper.
What? A 10 by like a scrap? Where? What'd you put it? Like at the laundromat?
Like one of those little garage sale signs, one of the
the
black
dollar
and
signs
orange ones that you get. Yeah,
the dollar signs from Dollar General.
Yeah, I just got one of those. Went to the store. They didn't have any signs. I didn't have a bandit sign with me. Go in. They didn't have any real ones. I buy a wooden stake. I buy one of those signs. I go up to the counter. I'm using their stapler to staple that sign to the
Dude, Nick, an investor
stake.
Right here.
Go out there. It's like, oh man, I have a hammer with me. Looking at the road. There's a broken cinder block. I'm
Thank God you know a friend for Christmas. Now you bought your hammer. Like, damn. I didn't even know you were so ghetto.
So I just get that little thing in the
Mr.
ground.
Man.
It is blowing up my phone.
So you take a 10-inch sign that you can buy at Walmart, Dollar Tree, for sale house. You stake it on a stake. You staple it with the freaking hardware store staples.
Yep.
You take a brick and bang it into the ground on that property.
No, on the corner.
On the corner. On a busy street.
Because it's kind of down, yes.
Okay, so on a busy street,
yes,
your phone blows the F up and you sell it for $55,000. Now, the cool thing is that these people showed up one day with $4,000 cash in your pocket. And you're like, yo, Steven, what do I do now? Take the money. Take the money. But at this time, you take this money and you don't even have it closed, and the title work is still up in the air.
Yeah. There's one other contingency on this. It's not only her son, but her husband/ex is on here also, and they've been separated/divorced for 5 years.
So you got IRS liens, a co-signer, a husband that disappeared who's pissed off.
Yes.
All this is going on a $21,000 house that needs massive repair. I mean, when I ran the numbers, it needed at least 20-25.
That's open to interpretation.
Yeah, okay, Savvy. But listen, 25,000, 21, we're at 46. That's why I walked away like 4 months ago.
It has a full-size storm cellar inside.
It's full of water. No charge. No charge.
Dry as a bone.
Okay. Oh, God, I got to breathe because this is just way so much intense. Like, people just are trying to follow. I can barely follow. So you wrapped all this up. One day you got the call from the title, we can close.
Well, yeah, because I had to go get that form signed. So
from
from
Facebook.
Yeah, where do I go sign it? It's 10234.
Now, was that girl's phone number disconnected?
Yes.
So you must have been like, again, why? How can are you just a driven individual? Because the phone's disconnected, the deal's done. I mean, I've heard rookie investors do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
let's track her on Facebook. and she has broken English, so it's hard to understand her. So when she gives me the address to go sign this form.
Oh, so you're doing all the delivery and driving around?
Oh, yeah, because I'm sitting there, right there in the title company, and we're looking at each other. She answers, and she says, yeah, I'll sign it. Come to the house right now. So I'm like, what's the address? I'm on my way. So I write it down. I get out there, and I'm 1,000 blocks off or whatever. I'm 10 miles off because when she gave the address, because of the broken English, I get there, it's like, this is not 100123 or whatever street. She's like, no, it's supposed to be 123 Street. So like, I'm way off. It's like, it's downtown.
So you get it signed. So now during this time, the original buyer number 2 is calling you, sweating you. Hey, I've given you $4,000,
yes,
but you requested $5,000 down.
Correct. And
so he wanted the keys at $4,000. So you stalemated him. Hey, well, I needed the other $1,000, but you're blowing him off, right? I mean, there's legalities here. I mean, believe me, I have counseled you enough to know just enough to get in trouble.
Yes.
And so you got all that figured out. Now you finally close the thing, right?
Yes.
The title just closed, except for at closing, something blew up in your face.
Well, let me go back just one step, because we're waiting all this time to close, and it's been months. It's been September. I get this call on a Friday. Hey, great news! You ready to close the property? Heck yeah! I've been waiting to close this deal forever. When? How about Monday?
Oh, and you have no money.
And this is on Friday afternoon. It's like, close on Monday. Oh, great.
Oh,
We've been waiting for 4 months.
This is right. This is the weekend of the RIA, right? There was a RIA.
Yeah.
And you're like, and you're looking at me, can you loan me the $21,000? I'm like, Mr. Man, I just closed the property. I'm broke.
Oh, yeah. It was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday afternoon.
It was Thursday. Yeah, because it was like, well, Mr. Man, you got about 1 hour or 1 day to come up with $21,000. Impressive. Yep. You do it. Yep. You go through the private money lessons that you've learned. Thank God we're going to do another private money class.
Yeah, thank you for those out there that are listening to this that come through for me. I
someone funded you, but then they didn't fund you. Now you still got $4,000 cash in your back pocket.
Yes.
You asked the private lender for $25,000. Now, but when you were closing this thing for $21,000,
yes,
but it blew up in your face at closing because the seller was supposed to bring money to closing.
Correct.
And she shows up with...
Supposed to close on Monday, 2:30. I get a call at 1:30. I've got to take my dad to the hospital. He's sick. Can't make it today. I'm like...
Okay, one more day.
BS, you've been waiting forever to close. I knew it was a crock because she's been... all over me. When are we going to close this?
So was it? You think it was a lie?
So yeah.
So she's trying to stalemate you at the end.
Yes.
Wow, super savvy.
An hour before closing.
An hour before closing, she's like, "I can't make it. My dad's in the hospital.
Got to take my dad to the hospital."
Okay, so what do you do then?
So of course, I call the closing company and tell them,
"Can't close it."
She's bailing out on me. It's like, well, I hope her dad's okay.
I hope her dad's okay too.
Me too.
Yeah.
So the next day, I get a call about 10:30. I just wanted to let you know that Mrs. just left here. It's like, well, what's she doing there? Yeah, she just walked in unannounced and was wanting to know if we could renegotiate the price.
So the next following day at 10 o'clock, your seller, the lease option buyer, if you want to say, with a signed contract with an affidavit that says $21,000, she rolls up in the closing company without you even being there, starts throwing up and saying, "We got to renegotiate."
The lady that I was buying it from.
Yeah, the original person you have it under contract with.
Yeah.
Her, not the one that's doing the lawsuit. The one that's in the one that actually is responsible.
The one that had the sick dad that she's taking to the hospital.
So she blows up into the title company.
Yes.
Thank God you built a relationship with the title company, because most people would be like, "Get the F out." She rolls up, "I want to renegotiate." That's what she tells your title lady.
Yeah.
Your title lady is like, gets you on speed dial.
She's like,
"Mr. Man, what do you want me to do? Slap that chick." Like, that's get her back into reality.
No kidding.
Woman's March, not slap her, just slap her in a metaphoric way. Like, "Ma'am, please leave."
Yes.
Okay. So what happened? How'd you negotiate?
She just tells her, "No, we can't negotiate. That's something, you need to take up with the mystery man."
Oh, third person. There you are. Mystery man. So you get a phone call from Miss Girl you can't get a hold of with no phone, that disconnected, dad that's dying in the hospital, Facebook only communication. She wants to negotiate. How does that go?
So, get in touch with her. She's crying. My husband's, he won't let me in the house. She's screaming, "I won't have anything to do with anything with money. I won't sign. I'm not going to." Just tell him, no way. Won't do it. Don't have any money, not going to do it. So she's just, I don't have the money, can't do it, can't close, don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Stalemate like a slap.
Yeah.
So please tell me, Mr. Man, how'd you get this closed?
So I just ended up saying,
"Well, can we make this work?"
Money out of my pocket. Here we go. We've been working on this thing forever.
So what was your line? So she was asking for a specific amount of money, or she just didn't want to pay at closing?
She just said she didn't have the money. So I said, And I'll tell you what, because she cleans houses and she does, several other things. I said, I'll go ahead and pay it. I'll work something out with you. How's this? I'll pay this for you at closing, but you're going to clean some houses for me whenever I need it over time, and then you can just work this money off. How does that sound to you? Oh, thank you. Yes,
Okay, so her husband was pissed off because she was supposed to bring money to closing. What was that number?
It was $2,300, I think.
So $2,300 that her husband's going to kick her out because she didn't have, and obviously they're kind of low income. Yes. They don't have $2,300 laying around. If they were going to get this deal done, you threw down the $2,300. So your total cost with closing costs and drama was about $25, right? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, a little less, yeah.
All right, so you close this thing. You do a solid for this lady. Now, you have your buyers already, your $4,000 in your pocket. So basically, you got $5,000 down by now. And so you really only have $20,000 into this deal. And you're selling it for $55,000, well, $50,000 minus the $5,000. Did you get the keys at closing?
No, because the keys were in a lockbox
on the property.
At the property, because I had been showing the property throughout this time.
Did you get that? He's been showing the property at this time for months, showing this property with no title. And we had 9 things that were clouding the title, not like one. We're talking 9 IRS liens, mechanic liens, foreclosure liens, husband liens, brother who's broke liens. Oh my, I cannot believe that this is we can't make this crap up. You cannot make this up. All right, it gets better, folks. We're about to wind this up. This is the longest podcast in history. Okay, well, no keys. You call your buyer, finally. He's got 5 Gs about the Himashima U.
Yes.
And you call him up, and what do you say to your new buyer?
Hey, congratulations. Are you ready to get your keys? I'm on my way. Let's get this thing done. Yeah, I'll meet you there at 2:30.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's at 3 o'clock.
Okay, so 3 o'clock. So what time do you close?
2 o'clock.
You close at 2. You're like, hey, I'm going to knock this out 3 o'clock. So you get back into your vehicle and you drive down to the south side.
Correct.
And you're like, lockbox, I've been showing it this whole time. You walk up on the property. Now, what do you notice on the property in the driveway?
So I stroll up, pull in the driveway, 2:30, 2:35. As I'm pulling up, there is a 25-foot pull-behind fifth-wheel camper sitting in one of the lots. There's 2 lots here that comes with the property. It's sitting there, and I'm like, what the heck is this thing doing here? I said, okay, this property's been sitting vacant for a while. Here's a stolen vehicle that's been dumped here. And I'm thinking this because one whole side of it is just completely smashed in, like it's been rolled or sideswiped by a semi. And it's sitting there. I'm like, oh, crud, I'm going to have this thing hauled off. As soon as he strolls up and says, what's this thing doing here? I'm calling a tow truck now.
So you're like, I love that you're proactive. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please learn from the Mystery Man. Non-responsive, you respond and not react. So you see this broken down, burned down RV in the middle of the driveway. Yes. Okay, no big deal. Hey, no big deal in my mind. We'll just get it towed.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Just put it on offer up. It would sell tomorrow. So then you stroll to the front door. What do you see on the front door?
I'm popping on out, and I stroll up here to get ready to get his key out, get this happy gent when he rolls in, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, get him his key. No lockbox.
No lockbox.
Like, WTF, there's been a lockbox here for 3-4 months now. What's going on? Because I had just talked to the lockbox owner the night before, because they were going to go by and get it.
You mean the seller?
No, because I had somebody that was a bilingual individual that was going to be marketing this property for me, and they had put a lockbox
super
on
savvy.
It for
so
me.
You hired a third person,
correct,
to handle the showings and
correct
Hispanic communication.
Yes,
that's my idea. But anyway, that's a good. I'll give you the kudos for that.
I didn't say it was mine; it was yours.
Thank you. So then the door's open.
So
it wide open?
Yeah, it wasn't open. So I go popping on up to no lockbox. What's going on?
Okay.
So I try the doorknob. Uh-oh, it's open. It's unlocked. Doorknob turns. So I crack the door, pop it on open, step on over that threshold, not carrying a bride, unfortunately, but I step on through and standing there, and it's uneasy feeling kind of thing. And I look over, and there's a sheet hanging down over the empty doorway and into one of the bedrooms, and just, one of these hair standing up on the back of your neck things. Hello? And all of a sudden the sheet starts to move. And it starts to open. I'm homeless.
Oh my God. So there's a homeless person been camping out in a vacant property that you technically don't own, that you've been marketing to the Hispanic community. And there's a homeless person in there that someone just paid full price, $55,000, actually $2,000 over full price of an appraisal.
Yes.
And they're on their way blazing saddles to get their keys that they've been waiting on for about 6 weeks of you holding on to their $4,000 to $5,000 cash. Yes. And I like, mystery man, don't touch that money. Leave it, lock it down. You may have to refund that cash.
Yes.
Wow. So what did you tell the homeless person?
So she steps on through the sheet.
Well, she had her clothes on.
Luckily she did. And she has what are you doing here? Sean said it was okay that I stay here.
Sean?
It's like, Sean who?
Who's Sean?
Like, I don't know. How do I get in contact with Sean? I don't know. Sean didn't have a phone. Well,
so she's trying to make up a story, or she's saying Sean let her in. Now, who's the lockpurse person's name? Wasn't Sean, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was a female. She said Sean let her in. Sean said it was okay to stay there, but she had no way for me to contact Sean and didn't know Sean. Sean didn't have a phone number.
And so you kind of were trying to help her get her out, like, hey, pack your stuff up and call Sean, but you can't call Sean.
Right.
So at the same time, you're like sweating bullets.
Yes.
Because not only that you had gotten this far, 4 months of death, you now, or I guess it's October, November, December, January, 4 months of hell, basically, in my mind.
Yes.
And it's about to get ugly. There's an RV in the driveway. There's a homeless person inside with a giant crack, dirty walls, no doors, no lockbox, and now you have no keys.
No key.
And you have a homeless person that's moving around in his sheet.
Yes.
Crying, saying, you're kicking me out of my home. That Sean of who, effed up who, Sean, somebody of some world, said, I can stay here for free.
It's like, no, you can't. I said, the owner is going to be here in 30 minutes to get his keys. Where's the lockbox? She didn't know. Said, you have 20 minutes to get out. They'll be here in 30. Well, this, well, that. Well, my dad died. Well, diabetes runs in our family. Welcome
to the club.
It's like, you have 20 minutes to get out.
Mystery Man, Compassion, 2000.
Luckily, she had her vehicle parked there in the living room. Shopping cart was there, nice and handy. So she starts loading that bad boy up.
And she's packing down the street looking for Sean.
And she is out the door and gone before he gets there.
So, like, what was the time span from when she was not visible on the street till then?
Probably 3 minutes.
Unbelievable. So, anyway, the new owners come on. Where's my keys? What do you say?
Said, there was a lockbox on here that had a key in it. Oh, that big thing that looked like a padlock. I was wondering what that was. Said, somebody must have come by and taken it off. I'm sorry, I'll have to get you a key, change out the locks. It's like, well, how'd you get in? It's like, it was unlocked.
It was a closing day.
Yeah.
They unlock all doors on closing day.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So he said, well, I was going to change out the locks anyway, because I was going to run to the hardware store and get a new lock and change it for him right there.
But you don't even have any tools. You probably now you have tools.
Now I do.
Christmas
Somebody got me
over.
something for Christmas.
Christmas is over with. Okay, so then how do you address the RV in the driveway? People are thinking RV broken down, burnt down, and what do you say? How do you handle that?
I was like, I'm sorry about this. I don't know how this got here. It's like, oh, that's mine. Like, that's yours. When did you put it here? Oh, I put it here a couple of weeks ago.
Parking it here.
Like, this can be my property, It's like, what happened to it? Did you get hit? Did you roll it up? No, we bought it like that. We're going to fix it up and resell it. It's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't make this up. this is a deal. And is it their first payment this month? It's February.
Yes.
Okay, so we may have to revisit this later. But as of right now, except for you got one random call a couple of days ago. What was that call? From the old seller that drove by that drove by the property, like got so much time on her hands that she couldn't call you back, or you had to chase her down through Facebook, and her dad was in the hospital. She called you, and what did she say?
She did. She called just 2 or 3 days after we closed, and was saying that she'd been by the property and was asking, who I sold it to, and it's like, yeah, we sold it, and started asking, were they white, were they Hispanic, who it was. Thought that was kind of an odd question.
Sure.
Said it was some Hispanic people. Why are you asking? It's like, well, I think your property may be getting broken into. Now she kind of rolls this out. Why don't you kind of start off the conversation with such? But said, yeah, I saw some white people crawling in the window. Just thought you might want to check into it.
White people. Oh, man. Anyway, that's the Fabulous Friday best deal ever. Hey, the margins are amazing. The tenacity is bar none. I would have already fell out. I actually would have walked away from that deal. You're truly amazing, Mystery Man. Celebrity in the making. I don't know what they're going to put on your tombstone, but I know one thing. If I'm there, present, hopefully I die before you, because I always like to die before people I like. Man, tenacious, non-giving up. And folks, that's what you need to be. You don't stop until they say no. You just go all the way 110. Last thought, Mystery Man, what did you learn out of this?
Knock on all doors before you walk through them.
Well, that's it. Now it's your turn, ladies and gentlemen. You go out and get a deal.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.